Are we masters of our own destiny or mere slaves to the whims of causality? This is the age-old question at the heart of free will and determinism. Do we truly have the power to shape our own paths, or are we simply subject to the unyielding laws of cause and effect? Perhaps you've pondered these questions before, or perhaps they're new to your thoughts. Either way, today, dare yourself to explore the depths of this philosophical conundrum. In the grand arena of this debate, three gladiators stand: free will, determinism, and compatibilism. Let's take a closer look at each of these combatants and their unique philosophies. First, we have free will, a concept that claims we are the masters of our own universe, having control over our actions, decisions, and destiny. It suggests that we are capable of making choices that are genuinely our own, untethered from any pre-existing causes or influences. Next, we meet determinism. This philosophy asserts that every event, every choice, and every moral decision we make is an inevitable outcome determined by a chain of previously existing causes. It suggests that everything we do is the result of some cause, and we are simply playing out the script of life that's been written in the stars. Lastly, we have compatibilism, a kind of philosophical peacemaker. It argues that free will and determinism are not mutually exclusive, but can coexist in harmony. It posits that while our actions may be influenced by previous events, we still exercise free will in making decisions within the context of these influences. Now that we've met our contenders, let's bring in a wild card: the maverick philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche, in his book Beyond Good and Evil, boldly rejects both free will and determinism. He takes a deep dive into the heart of these concepts, scrutinizing them with a critical eye. In Aphorism 16, Nietzsche challenges the concept of free will, dismissing it as a product of immediate certainty. He argues that self-observers who believe in immediate certainties like "I think" or "I will" are under the spell of a misleading illusion. Nietzsche contends that cognition doesn't get hold of its object purely and simply as the thing in itself, without any mediation or interpretation. He suggests that immediate certainty, absolute knowledge, and the thing in itself involve a contradiction in terms. Nietzsche urges us to free ourselves from the deceptive significance of words. Moving on to Aphorism 21, Nietzsche rejects determinism. He criticizes the concept of non-free will, which he sees as a misuse of cause and effect. Nietzsche argues against the prevailing mechanical thinking that makes the cause press and push until it effects its end. Instead, he proposes that cause and effect should be used only as pure conceptions, as conventional fictions for the purpose of designation and mutual understanding, not for explanation. In essence, Nietzsche rejects the traditional dichotomy between free will and determinism. He challenges us to reconsider our understanding of these concepts. In Nietzsche's view, it isn't about free will or determinism, but rather a question of strong and weak wills. In the end, for Nietzsche, the crux of the matter lies not in the freedom of the will, but in its strength. Here we dive into the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy, moving beyond the traditional debates of free will and determinism to a more nuanced concept of strong and weak wills. So what are these strong and weak wills? For Nietzsche, the strength of a will is not about the ability to choose freely, but about the power and resolve behind those choices. It's about the ability to act decisively, to exert one's will upon the world, and to create one's own meaning and purpose. It's about being a driving force, not a passive observer. On the other hand, a weak will is one that is easily swayed, that hesitates and second-guesses, that lacks the resolve to see its desires through to the end. It is a will that is buffeted by external forces rather than being a force. This perspective shifts the focus from the freedom of our actions to the power and resolve behind them. It challenges us to question not just whether we are free to act, but whether we have the strength to act, to stand by our convictions and to shape our own destiny. In conclusion, Nietzsche's philosophy is a provocative call to action, a challenge to become creators of our own life story. In Nietzsche's words, in real life it is only a question of strong and weak wills. So what will you choose to be?